GM fam, it's Daito here with an update on Path of Exile 2 and the warrior that I'm playing for the endgame. Now, if you are on a budget like me and you don't have a single divine orb to your name and you want to be able to complete the endgame content such as tier 15 maps and all of the ascendancy bosses, this is the video for you. I'm going to showcase the warrior Sunder Totem with Boneshatter budget build. If you would like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump into it. We will start with the skills. So, of course, our most important skill is Ancestral Warrior Totem, and we have it socketed with the Sunder ability. We're putting in Upheaval as well as Brutality to up the damage and add some fissures. And I like Ancestral Urgency because I just like getting these totems down as quickly as possible. We don't actually use Hammer of the Gods very often when we're mapping because the totems are killing everything, but when need be, this is going to be our boss killer. So Hammer of the Gods is socketed with Second Wind to give us a second ability if need be, like if our first Hammer of the Gods misses because the boss is fast or a rare mob is fast and moves out of the AoE range or something like that. We have Ingenuity to lower the cooldown time on this ability. We're putting in Fast Forward so that the hammer drops more quickly, and then we're adding Heavy Swing in order to up its damage. Now, Boneshatter is where my build differs from Colby's. Boneshatter was always my favorite ability as soon as I started playing the warrior, and I'm super glad that it's been able to make a comeback with this Totem Sunder build. As you could see in the video, we're most vulnerable when our totem fires off a Sunder and then doesn't completely kill the enemy. So as opposed to walking around and, spamming Resonating Shield and keeping up your defenses, I think it's a lot more fun to pick off those stragglers by using Boneshatter. And then we're socketing Boneshatter with Impact Shockwave, Devastate to break armor, and then Magnified Effect in order to kind of spread the love around whenever we do see those enemies that are primed for stun. So honestly, if it wasn't for Boneshatter, I wouldn't even enjoy playing this build as much, because then it's kind of me just, dropping around Ancestral Warrior Totems and then not being really super engaged in the battle. So for me, Boneshatter is a must just for the pure enjoyment factor of playing with that ability. Slam is our escape ability. So we socket it with Martial Tempo because in the event that we need an oh shit button and need to jump out of danger's way, we want to move as quickly as possible. It's socketed with Heft and Fire Infusion and Rage just for shits and giggles because we're really not using it for damage. Here is where the build kind of starts intersecting with Uffenhall's build in terms of being a mismatch or a mashup of Colby and another streamer that I follow. We use Seismic Cry and Infernal Cry in that combination in order to really drop the hurt on huge bosses with the Hammer of the Gods. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to blow, once the boss is heavily stunned, you'll want to drop a Seismic Cry and then follow it up with an Infernal Cry, and then that'll buff up the Hammer of the Gods to a ginormous amount. You'll end up dropping the equivalent of like 3 or 4 Hammer of the Gods once you do that combo. I'd probably swap out Infernal Cry, to be honest, with another persistent buff if I had more spirit. I don't like using Infernal Cry while I'm mapping because it takes time, and I don't want to run the risk of getting hit. So I'd rather just be dodge rolling and dropping totems and then killing them with Boneshatter as opposed to trying to buff up damage that I may not really need. So I'd probably end up swapping Infernal Cry for something else, like maybe Berserk if I was able to generate enough rage. But right now I don't have rage generation in my build. because I don't have an extra slot in order to put rage in. If I could, I'd probably try to throw it up in rage skill inside the Ancestral Warrior Totem. That's assuming that Ancestral Warrior Totems can even generate rage. From my brief amount of testing, I didn't see that they were, but maybe I was socketing it in the wrong order. But otherwise, I'd throw in even something like the fire AOE chant as well. So we'll move on to the gear. Honestly, I've not spent a single divine orb on this character or any of my characters, to be honest. I like to shop usually between like the 1 in 20 exalted orb range, so this gear is not expensive. The most important thing you need to make this build work is plus level to all melee skills. So you can see here on my 2 weapons, I have plus 6 level to all melee skills, plus 6 level to all melee skills, and then on my gloves I have plus 2 level to all melee skills. After melee skills, I mean, obviously you want strength in order to make your giant's blood work so that you can actually dual wield 2 large weapons. And then physical damage is just the cherry on top. Again, the only reason you have physical damage on your weapons and you care about damage on your weapons is when you're cleaning up monsters using Boneshatter. Otherwise, your totems have their own weapons and are generating their own damage, outside of the DPS on your weapons. And so the damage or the leech life is nice on these. The stun buildup is okay. The accuracy really isn't doing anything for us because we've got that skill on the passive tree that makes it so that we can't even crit, but we never miss. So those are the weapons and the gloves. And then with the armor and everything else, it's pretty basic. We're looking for maximum life, armor, and resistances. Nothing special there. The belt is cool. It'd be nice if it had some extra slots on it so that I could have more charms. But other than that, the gear isn't super special. We are using Zoph's Blood Amber Amulet in order to increase our maximum life. Maximum life is really nice because we really just don't want to get one-shot by anything. As you can see from our character screen, our armor is decent. It's above 70%. Our resistances are okay. It'd be nice if Chaos Resist was boosted to the max also. We've got some decent life recovery at 100, and that's because of the passive skill tree that we're running. So I'll include a link to Colby's passive skill tree in the description because I pretty much followed what they suggested to the T. In terms of prioritization, obviously, in order to make the build work, you're really going to want the extra totems and the totem damage and the giant's blood and the area of effect damage as well. And then obviously blood magic is really nice if you have a decent amount of life so that you don't have to worry about mana. Of course, we've got giant's blood, and the bleed over here helps, again, finish off the monsters that don't get one-shot by our Sunder Totems. But as you can see from the video, rare monsters, we're getting 1 or 2 shot by the Sunder Totems pretty easily. It looks like I grabbed this node right here to beef up my armor a little bit. So if you find yourself dying or whatnot, that's another option in order to beef up your defenses. I think that is pretty much it for the build. I really like this character. It's a lot stronger than the Ice Strike Monk that I was playing before. I have no problems running tier 15s. You can see here I try to beef up my tier 15 waystones as much as I can given my resources. And then this character is pretty much good to go. Like offensively, adding rage would be huge just because of the multiplicative effects that rage can give you. When it comes to increasing your damage. So it'd be nice if, I had better sockets, like maybe ones that generated rage whenever I get hit. You can see here I don't even have another jewel socket to put in, so I'm far from optimized. So the build definitely has even more room to grow from what you saw in the video. I hope y'all enjoyed this, fam. Let me know in the comments what you're doing to make your, Sunder Totem Boneshatter warriors viable in the endgame. And yeah, if you like this video, please, like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until then, happy hunting, fam.